Hey everybody, welcome in. My name is Josh. This is the Gaming Joy channel, and we're gonna do a couple things today. Welcome to Office Hours. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat as we go along. I'm gonna try to do something live. I've never done this before, and I don't know what I'm getting into. So if you need to blame someone, blame Deep Sky Farms. He was the one who suggested this whole idea, and he's the one who sent me the mod. I don't know what I'm getting into. I haven't looked at it yet, so we're going to do this completely blind. But as a minor idea, I was thinking, let's do something extra blind. So this is all the errors from the mod. It's just riddled with errors. But the one thing I wanted to talk about real quick is another idea. And I want to kind of, it's going to sound weird. I've been doing lots of challenges and speed runs. And I've been seeing people do speed runs. One of the other games I play, they have an expedition, and it takes a certain amount of time to get it done. You have a lot of things to do, and people are speed running it to try to get it done as fast as possible. I can't do that. No idea. But one funny thing that keeps coming up, and it came up in chat, in our modding chat. So if you're looking for more information, and you want to join the Discord, we have a very active chat going on in the Discord, in lots of different things. We have farm sim chat, we have a modding chat, and in the modding chat channel, there came up this question of, well, how do I create a new mod from nothing? I don't have anything. I don't have anything to start with. So how do I create a new mod when I don't really have anything to start with? What do I do? We're going to talk about that today. Sorry, there's no camera. Just the camera's being funky. So I want someone in chat, the first person to call it out in chat. I want you to give me the name of a tool or vehicle. Vehicle or tool, doesn't matter. And I'm going to show you step by step, and I'm going to time it, and creating a brand new mod and getting it into the game, customizing something. We're going to do it all from scratch. I'll show you how easy it is and how quickly it can be done. So somebody give me a name of a tool or something in base game. The first one to get in there, or top vote or whatever, is the one we're going to do. Again, I'm doing this blind. I need a specific one. I'm not going to do the one you want, Jake. Jake, you need to work on that one yourself. But I will show you an example. So give me something else. Give me a tractor. Union. What's a union? That's not a base. Unimog. That's not in the base game. I need something in base game. Give me a base game vehicle to make a mod from. But this does go into kind of what you and I were talking about over in the modding chat, Jake. We're going to kind of walk through it step by step. You'll see walking through that process that I've already documented in the chat. Okay, squad track. All right, there you go. So we're going to call this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm in my modding. This is my mod folder. For me, this is my mod folder. I know this is my mod folder because in my game settings folder, there's a line here that says mod directory override, and I'm setting it to C gaming farming simulator, blah, blah, blah. Normally, your mods folder is right here. This is normally your mods folder, but I don't use that because I don't want OneDrive syncing my mods folder. Anyways. So I'm in this folder. We're going to go in here, and so haven't done this before, haven't copied it before, haven't looked at it. We're doing it all from scratch. Okay, ready? And I'm going to put a timer up on the screen. Let me make sure the timer shows up. Maybe I need to show the timer node. Hold on. Text. Countdown timer. Add existing. Timer. Go. Okay. Oh, I'm 22 seconds in. Let's change that format. Real quick. It's a crappy font. Who chose that font? Select font. Prompt bold. There you go. And we're going to do, just to make sure, we're going to do an outline. Black outline. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to reset the timer, and then I'm going to go ahead and create a quad track. Ready? Timer starting. All right, so first thing you're going to do when we want to create a new mod, we got to create a folder for it. So I'm going to come into my mod folder, C, new folder. FS22, case. We're going to call this the case quad track extreme. And as you can see, when I create my folder, folders can only have letters, numbers, and underscores. That's it. You can't have spaces, you can't have periods, you can't have anything else. So when you're creating a folder, it has to be in this specific format. It's super, super restrictive. But basically letters, numbers, underscore. That's it. So we're gonna call this the case quad track extreme. Perfect. Coming in over to my editing window. This is my editing window. We just created this folder. Case quad track extreme. Nothing in here. I'm gonna go in here, new file, moddesk.xml. I'm creating a mod desk. I don't have one. We need to create a mod desk. I created a template of a mod desk on the Discord, which you can freely copy and paste. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it in here. That's not what I want. Perfect. So we have mod desk version 80. This is called Case Quad Track Extreme. My quad track is better. Quad Track Extreme. Now, what am I doing? So basically, I'm setting up the wrapper for my mod. The mod desk is basically, mod desk translates into mod description. It describes your mod. So when you create a new mod, you have to describe it and how it looks, works, feels, how it shows up. So I'm describing it as version 80. That's the most recent version. I'm giving it a name, right? Case Quad Track Extreme. I'm giving it a description. This is what shows up on ModHub. I'm giving it an icon. This doesn't exist yet. We'll create one, don't worry. And then there's a store item. So what the mod is doing is it's adding an item to the store. That's what mods do. Right now it's adding the Registrack SKE50, which does exist. We'll replace that in a second. And then we also have a translation, and we're just creating one translation just for the new name of our tractor. Done. All right. Now what? Well, now we need to figure out where that file is. So I know where the files are, but you don't. So let's go into the game real quick. And we're gonna buy a Quadtra. It's already been 3 minutes. Good Lord, I talk a lot. But we're almost done. Actually, we are. All right, so I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna go career. Where did I create it? This one? Yes. As you can see, our mod is already showing up. So we have a mod. It's gonna show up. We can check it if we want. It's all you need is a mod desk for it to show up in your, to be able to be selected. Doesn't matter because it's not loading anything, so it's gonna fail. It's gonna give us an error in the log. We don't care. But to start off, we have a mod showing up in the store. That's a great thing. That's a good start. Which means we made our mod desk properly. If there's a typo in the mod desk, it wouldn't show up in the store, or rather in that mod selection panel. So we wouldn't be able to select it. No big deal, because we're not done yet. Now this process works for anything, literally anything. Anything in base game. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy the item in the store, and then we're gonna save the game, and then we're gonna look in the save game file and be like, oh, that's what the path is to this vehicle. I know how to search that path because I'm really used to it, but I'm gonna show you how to search for it. Okay. So we're here. I don't care where I am. I'm in a large tractors, quad track. I'm gonna go with this one, right? Doesn't matter what model or anything. We're just gonna go ahead and buy it. I'm gonna come in here and save my game. I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm not even gonna touch it. Just gonna save the game, quit. Right? Okay, so we bought the quad track. Well, why'd you buy the quad track? Good question. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna go to my save game. I think that was save game 15, maybe. No, maybe 14. Yes, 14. So in save game 14, this is your save game file. So I'm in my farming simulator save game file, the same place that our log is. And I'm gonna scroll down for that save game, specific, the one that we just saved that in. I'm gonna go down to vehicles. Now, if we look in vehicles, there's gonna be a couple of things here. The stuff that's here is really already on the map. So I'm gonna scroll down, whatever is on the map, whatever's given to you, it doesn't matter. All I care about is this string right here. So see how it says data, vehicles, case IH, Steger quadtrack.xml. Perfect. But what does data mean? Does anyone know? The data refers to the data directory for the game. Now the data directory for the game is, hey Polka, how are you? The data directory for the game is in a specific location. To figure out where your data directory is you can just Google search. It's all based on which version of the game you have. So if you have the Steam version like me, your data directory is going to be program files, Steam, Steam apps, common, farming simulator 22 data. That's where it's going to be. If you got it through the Epic store, it's going to be slightly different. If you got it directly from Giants, it's going to be slightly different. This just happens to be where it is for me. And what I did is, as soon as I found that folder, I did this and I went here and I said pin to start. So I always have access to my data directory every time, right? That's why I did it. So now we know where our data directory is, and now we know where the quad track is. So if we kind of try to keep this, can we get this like here? Perfect. So I have it. This is the path that I'm looking for. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go into data. I'm in the data directory. Vehicles. I'm in the vehicles directory. Cool. Case IH. Awesome. These are all the case IH stuff. There's a lot of case IH stuff. Come over in the Steger quad track. And we have a quad track. Now, most modders will do this. And thanks for subscribing, Polka. Welcome in. And Wrangler Stores Rex, thank you very much for subscribing this morning. I saw that subscription come through earlier this morning. Thank you very much. Most modders will take this entire directory and copy paste it. You're late for class. I'm doing good. Which is not necessarily accurate or required. Since all I'm going to do today is just do an XML edit, I don't need the whole directory. I don't need a copy of the model. I don't need a copy of the hoses, the VMask, diffuse. I don't need any of that. All I need is the XML file. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our edits folder, go to our quad track extreme folder, and I'm going to say here, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do copy. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to hit paste. So what I've done is I've copied the XML file from the data directory into my mod. That's it. Now we're going to close the data directory. We're never, ever, ever going to edit a file in the data directory. Technically you can. Technically it'll show up right away in game. but it's bad because you're breaking the base game. You could potentially break your game. So we never edit in the data directory. We always copy and paste. So now I'm closing the data directory. I don't want to touch it anymore. I don't want to risk it. I don't want anything else. I don't want to touch it. So now we have our folders. I'm going to go back to my editor. If I look, I have my case quad track folder. I have a mod desk folder, and I have a file called Steger quad track. I'm going to copy the path. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to paste the name in. So I don't need that whole folder structure because the mod desk and the file are in the same directory. I don't need anything else. Now I have a mod that's going to load that quad track, and here's the quad track. What we can do is we can actually add this right here, which is a translation. So I'm going to come up here to the name, do $L10N_ paste. Now the name of this thing is going to be that. Now, if you look for certain things that are built into the game, everything in the base game is set up this way. Everything refers again to the data directory. So the thumbnail, the image for this quad track is going to be referring to the base game thumbnail image. It's going to refer to the base game i3D file. It's going to refer to the base game Steger file. It's all of these things are referring to the data directory. So I don't need copies of them. I'm just going to use what's already there. Why not? And let's go in here and I'm not going to change anything else. Let's go in here and make we wanted to make a quad track extreme. What's going to make a quad track extreme? I don't know. Let's give it a pumped up motor. So I'm going to come in here in motor configurations. I'm going to go down to the last motor, copy, paste, quad track. I'm going to change, all I'm going to do is change the motor configuration. I'm going to give it, let's say 1500 horsepower, right? Whatever. We'll charge ourselves for it. So it's going to be $208,000 on top of, it's going to be 200K on top of the cost of an existing quad track. And because I pretty much almost tripled the horsepower, let's triple the torque too. So we're going to give it a 9.0 for torque. Let's give it a and we can also give it, if we look up here, see max forward speed, max backward speed. It's in the motor block. So we come down here to the motor block. Max forward speed 100. Max backward speed 35. Give it more brake force, since we're definitely going to need more brake force. It's going to need to be able to stop more because I'm just giving it so much horsepower. I'm going to give it like 10. Stop on a dime. And that's all I need. I'll leave the rest alone. We will potentially need to give it a better transmission that can deal with the higher speeds, but whatever. Let's go in here. Actually, let's copy the transmission to give it a higher speed transmission. Come in here, object change, blah, blah, blah. It's still going to say 620 on the side. I don't care. Max speed 100. And basically in the high gear, we're basically saying, hey, it'll go 100 backwards. And we're going to give it another backwards gear and make sure that it can go 35 backwards, right? So it'll still be a slow ramp up, and then it'll go from 33 up to 100, and it'll just take off forever. Go back to our mod desk, or make sure the Steger quad track.xml is there. Let's give ourselves a thumbnail while we're here. Why not? So we're going to open the FS icon generator. Actually, this is going to crash. We're not going to give it an icon today because actually I've given a blank icon in the Discord. So if we look, this is the Discord. This is the thread I wrote. I'm going to save this mod hub icon blank into this folder we're creating. So it's just gonna be a blank one. The other thing we're going to work on today is completely breaking the generator. So like that, we're going to save it. come into the mod desk, take this file name, rename this file. And the last thing I'm going to do, because it's me and I feel this is the way things are done, we're going to change it to black. So we're going to take this, and we're going to go, we're going to do shared black jet. That's the color, right? Black jet. That's the one I wanted. Perfect. And that's it. So we're basically have made a black quad track, blacked out quad track. Let's go back into the game. And if this loads perfectly in the game, we will have made a mod in 15 minutes. Start to finish. Except for the thumbnail, which we would have been able to get done in time if the thumbnail, the other mod we're working on, wasn't such a dumpster fire. Still here, Quad Track Extreme, start. Nuclear Salmon, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming out. Tobo Fish, glad you're here. CS Benji, welcome in. Thanks for being here. We're just making a mod start to finish. And then we're going to try to fix that dumpster fire, which I don't actually know if it's possible. We'll see. All right, so this is the one we bought last time. Super. Let's go into the store. Let's look at our mods. Quad Track Extreme. This is our Quad Track Extreme. It's showing up. It has a thumbnail. I can go into the store and buy it. 1500 horsepower is the max. I come in here. It's all black because I said it was all black. Booyah. I'm going to go to the last engine setup, which is the Quad Track Extreme engine setup. 1500 horsepower. Buy. I don't have enough money. Hold on. Let's get some money. But I'm going to stop the timer because we're at 16 minutes. Just over 16 minutes. And we have $200,000 extra to buy it with the extra engine configuration. And booyah, we have our quad track. So this is our extreme quad track. As you can see in the bottom, it says Case IH Steiger Quad Track Extreme, which is our translated string. And it has a little bit of a kick when it starts off. It's still going to go pretty slow initially. And it looks like the max speed isn't working. So that would take some engine configurations to make sure that the max speed works. But we do have our mod start to finish. And of course, from this point, now you have a new mod in game. Now you can customize. You can tweak it. I don't like the fact the seat's red. I probably won't want the seat to be red. But that's it. That's how you make a mod from a base game asset, start to finish. The other thing you could do is you could create a thumbnail, but we can't create a thumbnail right now because we have a dumpster fire. So let's go look at the dumpster fire. That's the second thing we wanted to do, and that was actually the main subject of today's thing. Okay, so we have this... we have this thing. And... I don't know what to think about it. All right, so this is an actual real life piece of equipment. This is by, who's it by? Let me see. It was in my chat. Let's look at the, so if you guys are proposing office hours, this is the Brilliant Pulvy Mulcher. And this is actually based off of this piece of equipment. This is the Pulvy Mulcher. It's by Landall. It's a real piece of equipment. They've built it pretty successfully to match the real piece of equipment. It basically has a roller in the front, a cultivator in the middle, and a roller in the back. It's a pretty successful. It doesn't necessarily have to have the wings. They do sell a version that doesn't have the wings. We're not going to worry about that today. But it's a real piece of equipment. It's not red and green, it's just red. So let's start there. So first of all, let's look at the colors, because this whole Christmas theme is really getting to me. So we're going to switch back over to our editor. we're gonna look at the colors. So let's go with the Brilliant Mulcher. I'm gonna open the Brilliant. I haven't looked at this file yet. This is my first time seeing it. Looks like they have some nice comments in here. They have a lot of stuff commented out. They apparently don't understand how comments work. And that's why that's broken. Actually, those two little pieces right there, did you see that? See how there's an extra dash? That's probably why this thing doesn't work. So it doesn't fold, it doesn't open. If we go back in the game, if I hit V, it doesn't lower and raise, it doesn't fold. But when I'm looking at the code, I see that there's a whole bunch of stuff commented out. Like this is what it looked like. And which basically means that what they've commented out is most of the animations, the cylindered section, the lights, work particles, connection hoses, dynamically loaded parts, all of this stuff, they just released it, commented out, because they don't understand how comments work. Or it's just a typo, whatever. So I'm gonna fix the typo, I'm gonna hit save. Scroll down to the bottom, they don't have any base material. Let's add one. There we go. This is the base material. This is how you quickly add a base material from a mod that doesn't have materials. Let's figure out how to do that. So how do we add a mod that doesn't have materials? This is obviously an old one. Let's see how old it is. 73, that's relatively new. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just reload this mod. So I've saved this file, the Brilliant file. I don't need this yet, but I'm gonna save it and I'm just gonna reload it. It may or may not just reload and may just work, which would be super cool. Okay, so I'm not pointing at the vehicle. There we go. F12, reload vehicle. So it's reloaded the vehicle. This might work, it might not. So I can connect to it. And that animation, do you see that animation for the thing coming down? That worked. That didn't work last time. I can't raise and lower. Can't fold. Okay, so it's definitely glitched. We're gonna save our game and then we're gonna exit out and come back in. So hopefully that'll kind of reload it and see what's happening. But if we look at our log, one last thing to look at before we go anywhere is we look at our log. Whenever you're wondering why something's not working, the first thing to do is look at your log. So I look at the code first because that's just me. But if you look at all this stuff that's giving you warnings and errors and blah, blah, blah. Like warning, missing collision bit mask. Warning, vehicle schema overlay is wrong. Warning, a reference frame is a moving part node. This can lead to bad behaviors. Why do you have so many moving part nodes? Wheels, cylindered hydraulic, file name not defined, blah, blah, blah. Like so many errors. It's just like, we can fix all of these one by one, but there's just so many errors. So there's just, let's reload the game, see if it fixes any of those errors, okay? Let's try one more time. Come on, Steam Cloud. Fix. There we go. And what we can do as the game's loading is kind of keep an eye on the log, see what happens. And we'll turn off our timer. Timer doesn't need to be there anymore. Okay. Oops. We still are loading it. Start. And we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's gonna work. We'll see. Anthic, welcome in, first time chatter, but yes, it does look like a wrong transfer from FS19. It looks like someone who was trying to copy something over from FS19 and didn't fully understand what they were doing. And it was a really, hopefully it was a really simple error, which is just commented out wrong. Perfect. Now let's see if it works. Let's turn our tractor on. Nope, we're not unfolding. We can't raise and lower it. So we're still kind of messed up. Let's go back to the log. I like to look at the log because that'll tell me what's wrong. Scroll down the bottom of the log. And all of this stuff for the Brilliant Pole V-Mulcher is what we're looking at. We're missing collision bismax on modes. We have reference frames. I don't know if I can actually fix this stuff. But let's take it one by one. So what's a collision bit mask? What does that mean? Right, this line right here. Missing collision bit mask. Mask bit, not bit mask, mask bit on a component. What does that mean? If we come in here to the actual file and we open up, we click on the left wing call, right? It says left wing call right here. And then if you look down here in the attribute panel, it might be a little hard to see. There's no way for me to quickly zoom in, but is there? Maybe I can zoom in like this. Okay, so we're gonna zoom in real quick. We're gonna come down to rigid body. So this thing has a rigid body. So anytime you have a rigid body in a piece of a mod, that means that thing can have other attributes associated with it, such as a dynamic rigid body, compound, collision, and then has a collision mask. So a collision mask is what they're talking about. So in the log, it said missing collision mask bit 21. So what does that mean? Come in here and we go into the collision mask. We're going to click on the triple dot menu and it pops up this little window. And these are the collision masks that are on this file. So I'm going to go in here and click on 21. If that's what it says that is missing. So I'm going to click on it. I don't know. I don't know what any of these mean. So I'm just doing what it tells me to do. Click on the left wing, the right wing. I'm going to do the same. 21. Hit OK. Save. And right here is my log. I'm going to see that it's saved. Great. I'm going to go over here, point at the thing, F12, this menu. I'm using EDC to reload stuff. And now I have hopefully fixed that error. If we look in the log, when it reloaded the item, look, none of those. So if you see, look, compare what it was before, collision bit mask. All of those collision bit masks are fixed. Great. Let's see what else we can fix pretty quickly. Sound template default hydraulic sound was not found in vehicle symbol. Blah, blah, blah. That's an error. Let's fix the errors first. The warnings can be done later. So error, file name not defined. Ignoring it. What does that mean? Let me fix OBS so we're not zooming in anymore. Sorry. I need like a hotkey for like a quick zoom. There we go. Let's go back to the code. So we're gonna come over here. It says missing file name not defined for something. Cylindered sounds hydraulic, ignoring it. Cylindered sounds hydraulic, default hydraulic sound. Okay. Well, you're not defining a sounds file. So how are you going to get sounds? That's probably what's going on. So what is this? This thing is basically like a folding cultivator. So let's look at what the base game does. I don't know. So this is how I troubleshoot it, right? I think what's more important here is not how to fix it, but how to troubleshoot it. So this is kind of like I don't know. I need the name of a cultivator. I don't know the name of a cultivator. We'll do the same thing we did before. Come in here. Cultivators, we need one that folds. So like the Rostelmash K12200. So come in here to our data directory. Rostelmash K12200. Open that XML file. File name. It doesn't define a sounds file at all. If we come down to cylindered, same section for the Rostelmash. All the moving parts. Default cultivator work. There's no sounds file here to find for the moving parts. But what it does do, yeah, it doesn't, where does it get the sounds from? Dependent part physics, animations, sound. So all of the sounds are in the animations. So this line right here in the Brilliant, this is probably from FS19. So I'm going to comment it out. I don't need it anymore. See if we can get rid of that error. I commented out, reload vehicle. Go back to our log. And now that error is no longer there. Failed to open XML file, data shares assets, lights, lizard, real circle, red, light, red. So these are easy. So let's think about this. Failed to open XML file. It's trying to link a file somewhere right here. So shared lights. Shared lights, it has a link node, so that links to a place in the model. And then this should exist. So let's look in our data directory. Again, we're just following the path. I'm sorry, Antic asked a question. I'm trying to make something that would think about a script, it would not be work. I would like to unload silage from one factory to BGA, but belts do not work. Have I run triggers? Oh, so you can do that and belts will work, but it'll only work. So if you have a factory that has silage and it outputs, you'd have to go into, you have to enter. So you would have, can I demo this real quick? It's a pretty easy thing. Construction silos. I mean, you're talking about like something like this, right? Where you just want to do from one factory to the other with belts, right? You want to just deliver from this one to that one, assuming these are factories or whatever, it doesn't matter. Belts should work, but you need to be in the belt. So if we're buying a belt real quick, where's belts? I don't even ever use belts. So this one picks up from the ground. This is probably something along the lines of what you want. Get in the quad track, please. Thank you. Let's tow the belt over there. And I'll show you the one little piece that you might be missing. Apparently the quad track can't tow it. Quad track does have limitations and because of the way it's 3-point set up. So when you're setting up a belt to go from one thing to another, this tractor is really slow. I think it's by taking it out of anything, and it does work. Or I've seen it work. I haven't done it in a while. But you would want to do something like this, right? And then you're gonna, whoops. Where's the map? I thought he made a big trailer on the map. I'm totally using a quad track to tow a little teeny tiny grain trailer. This just seems silly. Disconnect. Get it out of the way. Now I'm going to try to back up a trailer with a quad track. That's always fun. We don't need to wait for that. Get into this. You have to turn it on. It's a really long belt, but it's perfect. I actually spaced these out pretty dang well. So the trick here, from what I understand of having never done this before, but assuming that I understand belts. So again, untested, no idea if I'm answering your question right. But the trick here is to get the belt, and I'm going to show the triggers so you can see them. You see that spout right there coming out of the building? I hit F5 to show that. So I have to, this has to be under the spout. I have to hit B, or how do I turn the belt on? R. I hit R. I'm in the belt. I'm literally inside the belt. And then I'm picking that this connects me to the dialogue to be able to pull something from the silo. I hit start. And now I'm transferring from this silo. It's not going to the other silo because I'm too far away. I think I placed it just a tiny, see, there we go. And now I'm transferring from one silo to the other. So if we come into here, if we go like this, fill, right? Let's see it happen. So we're adding more wheat to this silo. It's not going to just automatically re-trigger it, right? It's not going to auto start again. If it stops, it's not going to start again. You need an auto start belt. There's another version of this belt that does do auto start. This one doesn't. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit R, which opens the menu for the silo. I'm going to hit start. Oh, turn on the belt. Come on. Why does it say there's nothing in there? But basically, oh, so you're saying it won't load when you're not on the second trigger? So you might not be able to do it directly, but you should be able to do it indirectly. And I've seen this done before. I've seen other people do this. I've never done it myself. I don't think it'll do both. You need a second belt. Let's just test it for shits and giggles. Yes. And I believe there's tutorials on YouTube how to do this. I've never tried to do it, but I think this is how it works. We'll get back to the brilliantly bad Berlin thing in a second. I think I'm actually gonna have to move this. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna try. Need these things to be as short as possible. Here. R. Now I'm in the second one. I'm not in the first one. In the second one. And I hit fill. Yeah, see, it's being funky. There's something up with it. And it's because, I think it's because you're in both triggers. So I think to get it to work, you either have to have different belt systems in the base game belt systems, or you have to have maybe something that picks up from the ground, like the other attachment for this thing that picks up from the ground, so that at some level the first belt is dumping it onto the ground and the second belt is picking up from the ground, which it'll just constantly do. But you need that auto start on. So that's essentially how you'd do it. You'd need at least 2 belts, as far as I know. But try it out. It should work. We did get it to transfer a little bit, but not enough. So we're going to go back to this thing. Still doesn't fold. Still doesn't raise and lower. It doesn't work at all. Let's go back to the lights. So it says the lights are shared assets, lights, lizard, rear, red, circle, O2, right? So that's where it says it is. So let's go look. We're going to go into, close the maps directory. We don't need it. Shared assets, lights, lizard, front, plate, rear, light, circle, red, rear, light. There's no circle. So there's no rear, light, circle, red. None of these is that. There's no such thing. The reason it can't load that file because it doesn't exist. So I don't know which one they wanted. Rear light red. There's a bunch of rear light reds. Let's go to the O2 file. Maybe that's the one they wanted. Rear light O2 underscore red O2 underscore right. I'm gonna pretend that that's what they wanted. So this should be rear light. What was it? Rear light. Let's just copy it. Rear light. Rename. Copy. Need this one. Let's do left, right, and then there should be an orange one too. I didn't see an orange one. I saw an orange one down here somewhere. Didn't I? Yeah, there we go. Rename. Oops. Rename. Copy. Sure. So what we're doing is there's supposed to be lights along the back. They're not loading, so the game is giving me an error because it's not loading. So we're just trying to fix errors first, and then we'll fix functionality. And look, we have lights here that it's loading. It looks like it's actually pretty close, except for these ones are turned the wrong direction. See that? Like that one looks right. This one is the wrong direction. It's pointing up and down. We can fix that too. So if we go into the model, where is that? So this is how the models work. A link node is a link node. So 0, 0, 17, 2. Let's try to remember that. 0 is the first item in the DOM tree. It's the frame. 0, a 0 means 0, 0. So we're going to the main section. 17 is going to be probably lights. Was that right? 17. Perfect. Left blinker, right blinker. So if we come in here and we look, navigate around with using WASD, and then use your scroll wheel to get close. Yeah, see it has the left blinker, right blinker, left brake, right brake. So which one was it? It was the orange one, so not this one, the blinker. So the lights in the game are rendered in this direction, which means they're facing upwards. So I'm going to rotate this like that. See how I'm rotating it? And I'm going to come in here, 0. It looks like it was already rotated. I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to reload this vehicle again. Reload vehicle. Oh, look, and now the light is rotated the right direction. It's a little too tall now. Move it down. Whoops, wrong one. Reload. And there you go. It's almost perfect. Look at that. I'm amazing. And so then we do the same thing for the other one. Translate Y. That looked good. So this one, translate Y. 0, save. Come in here. F12. Reload. And look, we got the lights fixed. Yay. So now it has lights. They're fixed. They're the right lights. They're in the right direction. If we come in here and we go turn our tractor on, turn our lights on, right? We're getting, see the white lights down here? It's turning those on. Those are our running lights. If we, I don't know how to hit the brake lights or the blinkers. I actually don't know how to do that. How do you turn on your blinker? Does anyone know? I've never used a blinker before. Vehicle driving. Clear vehicle. Change bale size. Where's how do you turn your blinkers on? Vehicle lights. Here we go. Toggle beacon lights. Signal. Turn signal left. Turn signal right. I don't have a keypad. I can't do that. So I'm gonna say this. Perfect. Save controls. I don't have a keypad, so wait. This. Oh look, my blinker's on. Look at that, and it works in the game. Blinkers on, and see how I actually say showing the blinker for. Oops. It's doing both. It's doing the one that's inside the other light. And I don't think this is intentionally what this person wanted. They probably wanted red lights instead of that weird double light. But I mean, we could probably somehow fix that. Rear light. Rear light red. It's probably this one. Rename, copy, go over here, save. F12, reload. Oh, these ones need to be rotated also. Go into the model, left brake. Nope. Blinker. That was a good side, good height. There. 0. Right Blake. Brake. I keep saying Blake. Save. F12. Reload. And now we have the brake lights the way we want them. Come in here. See the brake lights showing up. There's a little bit of clipping with the frame that was there, like the little mount point for the light that they put in there. We could fix that by moving the light a little bit backwards. But coming here. And again, a lot of this stuff is just tweaking, right? You're going to tweak, tweak, tweak. So let's do this. Negative 1.5 for all of them. And I always like to copy and paste the numbers instead of trying to manually move stuff. Because you'll have better results with lining stuff up. So if you're in NGE moving stuff around, yeah, that didn't help. It went the wrong direction. So let's just do 1.4, move it the other direction. Instead of basically we moved it right instead of left. This one got rotated somehow. 0. Save. 1. Gosh, I hate targeting this thing. Is annoying. Yeah, now they're totally in the wrong direction. So whatever. I could spend all day trying to move those things in the right place. I don't think that we're actually using the correct lights either. We just pick something randomly from a file tree. Like we could go through the asset directory and find the right light. Like if you want to know what the right light is, how do I do that? I'll show you. We're going to come in here. I'm going to go to my bookmarks because I have it bookmarked. FS22 modding. I'm going to come into the FS22 asset gallery. This is the asset gallery. This is a free asset browser that someone made up that has a picture of every single light in the game, so you know you're getting the right one. So we pulled in rear light 19 orange and red. They probably want these ones, right? 22 orange and red. So what they probably wanted was 22. Let's look at, so we probably wanted 22 orange, 21, rename, copy, come back here. And then I guarantee you we have to re-rotate them. And so we should be able to, no. -0.5, -90. So I'm re-rotating them. Just I'm expecting that I'm gonna have to re-rotate them because they were already rotated. Put this 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. Okay, so the reason I'm focusing on the lights right now instead of trying to fix all the other things that are wrong with the mod, right? Is because your log of how things work is your source of truth. Yeah, see, so now we have the correct lights, but now they're in the wrong position because I moved stuff, whatever. That's probably what they wanted. I could spend all day trying to get them in the right position. I'm not going to. If you remember, I did move stuff up and down. I could revert to the original version anyways. It doesn't matter. The lights don't matter. But it does do one thing in that if we look at our log, now that we've reloaded this thing a couple times, our log has no errors. That's key. Your errors are things that are wrong. When you're looking at a log, yeah. This helps you with your errors. So the warnings are also going to help us too. So if we look, some of these things, like a schema overlay, like this is a conversion. This is a conversion error. This is not supported anymore, right? So schema overlay is just, it's another warning. So I like to go fix the warnings and stuff like that first. And this is all because when they converted it, schema overlay name should be that, and this isn't needed. If we compare it against the other one we opened up, which was the, whoops, that's not what I wanted, which is the other one we opened up, the K1200. If you come up here, what does the schema overlay look for like for here? Just like this, done. That's what the schema overlay should say. So someone, whoever converted this, didn't try to compare it against anything new, and now it had a schema overlay error. So now we come in here, focus on the mod, F12, reload vehicle. And now if we look at our log again, so again, I'm going back and forth to the log. Now that error is no longer there. Missing AI attachment for attachable vehicle. Okay. Where do I get that? I'm just going to come to my thing I'm comparing it with, which is something that should work similar. Do this. Copy. Come down to the bottom. That's not what happened. Copy. And paste. Of course, none of these things are going to be correct. The markers are not correct. These nodes are not correct. The attachment, agent attachment, those things are not correct because there's no, like, you can tell it's a conversion because they used the direct node paths instead of creating the shortcuts. So the shortcuts are like this. Right, it's an i3D mapping. i3D. Normally you would have something like this. And for the attacher joint like this, you'd have a name attacher joint. And then the attacher joint is attachable input attacher joint. This is the attacher joint right here. So normally you'd have this copy, like that. Like that's how you do it. Oh, look, it does have AI. It does have an AI block, but oops, what was the error? Oh, agent attachment, missing agent attachment. So it needs this. Copy, paste. So the AI block we added is all wrong. fine. This may or may not work. So I reloaded it. Again, back to my log. Always go back to your log first. It's the very first thing to do. And as you can see, we've removed that error before. Missing AI attachment vehicle thing for attached vehicle. It was an error. Now it's not. And then again, you're slowly walking through all of the errors to make sure that they're vehicle attachable brake force is not supported anymore. Brake force. What? Let's look. So let's look at the attachable error now, because we were talking about attaching. So let's just focus on that. Brake force 0.3. That's what they want. Compare it if we want. We compare it against here. Where's attachable? Attachable. Force equals 0.4. Right? So this one done. That's like an old outdated thing. Save. Go back into the game. F12. Reload. Back to our log. Oh shoot. Discard. We fixed that one. Obsolete AI collision trigger ground. AI collision trigger node. Please switch empty transform group with size attributes. AI attachment. Bang, we're back to the AI attachment thing. What's this saying? Obsolete AI collision trigger ground. Vehicle AI collision trigger node. What are you talking about? AI. Oh, collision trigger node. Node 06. 0 AI collision trigger. Let's open up the other one we're comparing with. Data, vehicles, Rosselmash K1200. Open that one up. Main components, collisions. AI collision node. AI collision node. So it's just a target now. So the new format is not using an object, it's using a trigger. It's using a transform group. So let's create a transform group. Let's move it in here. Whoops, I moved it too far. Copy. Paste. And then the translate is Z. So I'm going to copy this. Control Shift C will copy everything. Control Shift V, paste everything. And then I'll delete the collision trigger. No longer has a collision trigger. Come over here and collision trigger node. Save. Reload. Back to our log. This whole obsolete AI collision trigger ground, gone. Folding parts is not supported anymore. So it has folding set up, but it's not set up properly because it's not using the right pathing. That's fine. Let's fix it. So that's probably why it's not folding. This is actually, we're getting into something that's actually usable. So folding. Folding. So here we need is that right? Folding configurations. Folding configurations. And then we need folding configuration. And then folding parts. Yep. So it wants this extra set of like nesting because it can have more than one configuration. So they want that. They're requiring that now in the new way of building the thing. And I don't think that's going to go away just by saving and reloading. But let's find out. It might. So sometimes when you're changing the structure of the XML, that was awesome. But look, now it's folded. I really doubt that I'm going to be able to unfold it. That was really good. I like that. But let's see. I'm just going to hit X and unfold and see what happens. It's unfolding now. So all we had to do is update that XML to the new spec. The old spec wasn't working. And if you notice, like if I come in here and hit X, like all of the stuff is still linked. The link nodes, the folding mechanisms, the hoses are moving, these things are moving, right? It is moving and folding properly. So the folding is working. Look at that. That looks so good. And it's actually a good folding animation. Wow, that's cool. All right, now that we have folding, it's not raising. Oh, it's now, oh, look, it's lowering now too. We might have a working mod. Sort of. The wheels don't move. It's not lowering far enough. We actually have a working mod now. Look at that. It's actually working, sort of. Cool. All right, I got to get rid of the red. I'm sorry. The red is just that green is just pissing me off. All right, let's do that. Let's get rid of the colors first. Okay, how do we do colors? We talked about this before. I'm just going to zip through it. I'm going to come in here and find the mean section. This is the viz or frame matte, and this color is black. This color is red. Where's the green? Actually, no, the first color is green, I think. If I change this to 1, yeah, the first color is green. The first color is the green, the second color is the red. So we come in here, so where is it? Do frame matte. We can create some colors if we want. Yeah, I totally thought it was going to launch too. The green has to go. Green's gone. But we will keep them as brand colors. So how do we keep them as brand colors? How do we, this is a new brand. This doesn't exist in our game. So Brilliant Red, Brilliant Green. It's actually not Brilliant. It's actually, but they have it listed as Brilliant. Technically this is a land all, but I'm gonna just call it Brilliant for now. Brilliant's the model. It's by land all. But I don't know if land all exists, so we're just gonna leave it as Brilliant for now. We're gonna come in here, and I click right here on the first item and hit Control-Shift-C. That copies that string. So that's the green. Oops. Did I hit it right? Control-Shift-C. It's not letting me paste it. So what was it? 0, 0.15, 0.05. 0, 0.15, 0.05. Yep, and then the next one is 366, 005, 0.366, 0.005, twice. Right, Brilliant Red, Brilliant Green. Come back here, Brilliant. They should both be red because that's how things go. And then we're gonna do frame matte, frame. This one needs to be copy paste, color matte 1. What else? Cylinders. Do the cylinders change color if I change this? Copy 1. No, that's just the frame. Main section, edit cylinder. Cylinder has another material. I don't care what it is, but I'm gonna make a new one. So now we make another material. I get to make up what the name is because it has a really bad name. Cylinder matte. Cylinder matte is green, red, green, red, and then black. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. We're going to say that the cylinder matte, color matte 1, and rib color configuration equals true. Save. F12, reload vehicle. I don't think it reloaded this. F12. Come on, point at the damn vehicle. Reload. Yeah, it's not going to change it. But we're getting close. So, all right, so save. We have a working vehicle. That's really good. I'm glad we got a working vehicle. Green's going to go. Save. Quit. Actually, no. Quit. I'm force quitting the game so I don't have to go through the quit menu. I forgot to turn on. Actually, did I? I think I did. Yeah, I did. Sorry, I turned off a bunch of my tools when I took the screenshot. And I need my tools back. Don't just hit go. Don't just hit go. I do that like while it's loading in so fast I don't even bother to stop. Okay, hold on. Mobile workshop, I need that. Store deliveries, that's the one I keep needing. Start. So we didn't change that. We changed the default color so that green should no longer be green. We also gave it a user configuration, so actually when we loaded the game now, it's probably going to be white. Customize. Main color. Black. Okay, it doesn't like that. Why is that not working? Let's check the log. What's the log say? Invalid color, brilliant red. Invalid color name. Invalid. Missing base node for material 0. Oh. That would do it. And it doesn't like my colors. I thought this was how you define brand colors. I probably have this wrong. Let me just do a quick search here. Name, value. That's how it works. Oh, color, not brand color. I was really close. That's how it's supposed to be. We're going to quit and go back in to get those changes because it's from the mod desk. So we change the mod desk. We have to get load all the way back in. Jake is asking a question. Is it typical to have one material, to have 3 colors linked to it, and one material to only one? Yes, totally typical. It's the materials and the way the colors are linked to the parts is something that comes from Blender or from whatever 3D modeling program you're using. So the fact that those are linked and they're linked to the right part of the model is something that happens from Blender. And if you're using Blender and you're not using shared materials within Blender, instead of just having one material for the whole thing, which is the right way to do it, you end up having individual parts having this different materials. And so it's really a cleanliness thing when you're building your item in Blender, not necessarily a bug or anything. That's weird. It's not seeing the item anymore. Invalid color. It does not like the fact that I'm trying to add colors. See all that? It's all like, it's given material is not found for material configuration. Come on. Why not? Okay, I'm gonna get just gonna. I'm just gonna stop using the custom colors. We can deal with the custom colors later. I just want it to work. Where's my data directory? Is there a green in the shared colors? No. Same green one. Perfect. I don't care. Customize. Yay, the frame color's working. So the frame color works there. So see, this again, this goes back to like people building their mods in really dumb ways. If you look, So see, this is why this stuff is just sometimes frustrating. So if you look, it looks like they have the same material on the wings that they have on the frame. So the center section is one material. This is another material. This is another material. This is another material. And so to get this to work, literally we'd have to do the cylinders all one. Cylinders are all one. So I need this. Left, right, go back to the model. Left is 2, right is 3. 2, 3. Save. This won't work. God, targeting this thing is really frustrating. I don't know why it's so frustrating. Now we can color almost the whole thing. Just need this little thing in the front, which is going to be called 1. So we're going to call this the hitch frame. Copy. And so every time you come in and out of the customize menu, it should reload the configuration. So it's almost there. Hitch frame. Let's look at this. Hitch. The frame is not 0. It's a different path, which is cool. So the hitch frame is this one. Okay. Customize. Good, we got the whole thing. Sign color there. Rim color, hot pink. Looks like they did some kind of custom rims and they didn't use normal rims. Whatever, customize. So much better. I feel much better already. All right, so what else are we gonna fix? So it looks like, see when it raises, it's raising the frame, the wheels come up, but it's resting on the back wheels. It's resting on the back rollers. The front rollers don't necessarily roll all the time. And so what we're gonna do, and sometimes it misses. So the easiest way to fix the missing, like when it misses part of the area, is you're gonna go into your work areas and you're going to change your ground reference node threshold equals, by default this is like 0.1. If I make this 0.5 and reload, come on, F12, reload vehicle. And now it's not going to miss. So now it's going to work like a mulcher, right? And there we go. And see, it says still missing sometimes on turns. See that? Do you see that when it was like turning, like it got to a point where something happened when it was turning and it like skidded kind of. And you see how the rollers are kind of sticking up, like they're getting caught and it's lifting up slightly. That's going to be in how the everything flexes, and that's going to be into the moving part stuff. Not the animations, but these moving tools and how these dependent parts move and reference and all that kind of stuff. That's super complex to edit and takes forever to actually trigger it to work right. I did it on the HX20, and it took me hours upon hours to get that stuff working. One way we can do to fix that is, again, this threshold. If you set this to like a meter, right, and then reload the thing, it should be fine. Now, one thing that's weird here is, and it's acting a little weird. See, it's missing. Look at that. That's annoying. Like that it's missing that much. One thing about this thing is essentially it's a roll. See that where it's kind of gets stuck? I don't know how to fix that. It's gonna take me forever. One thing I wanted to do here is, right now all it's doing is cultivating. It's not mulching and cultivating. So let's start there. So first of all, I want this to actually do both. I want it to do a cultivating, and I want it to mulch. I want it to do both. So how do I do that? Well, first of all, we have a work area, copy. We're gonna make sure our work areas are set up right. Is our work area set up right? Process cultivator area, start node, end node, work area node, ground reference node. Perfect. It looks like it's set up correctly. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. So we're gonna call this ULT. Cultivator area start. Whoops. Copy. Paste. Paste. Okay. We want that. Actually, no, that's fine. So right now it's just a cultivator. How do we make this into a cultivator and a mulcher? So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to come into the i3D mappings. I'm going to give myself work areas. Cultivator area start. And then I'm going to create 3 more. Right. Where are, so area start, area width, area height. We come in here, we go to the work areas. It's all going to be right here, work areas. So work area start, work area width, work area height. This is for the Rosselmash. Let's see what it is in the Brilliant. Technically, you should have work areas for each of the separate pieces, but I'm going to pretend that that's already set up and it's set up properly. It's not, but I'm going to pretend that it is. So the start is here. The width is here. And the height is here. Okay, so all I've done is just give them names, right? And if we look at it from above, where are those areas? So the start is here, the width is here, and the height is there. So basically it's just turning a big, huge square box for the entire thing all in one thing, which isn't accurate at all. Let's make it accurate. So we're going to take this copy and we're going to go down to the left wing, come here, and I'm going to hit paste. And I'm going to go to right wing, and I'm going to hit paste. So now I'm adding work areas to the wings. Why am I doing that? So what I'm going to do here is, this is the left wing. I'm going to move the cultivating work area to something relative to the left wing, right? So there. Width is just the left wing. I'm going to make it overlap a little bit to make sure there is some overlap. But it shouldn't need this. Oh, actually I do. This work area is based off of the wrong thing. 0, 0. So this work area, it needs to be based, the center of the work area needs to be based off of the wing. The start of it is there. The width is not forward, 0. So just the left, so start. Okay. This. There. And the height, we don't need this height to be complex. You just need it to be in one direction. So the height is there, right? That work area is great. We're gonna copy this. Now that we've done all the work, delete, put it in the right wing also. Start, and then we'll change these all to negative numbers. So now the left and the right are going to be set up exactly the same. Negative, there, perfect. So now I have the left wing, the right wing, and the main body all having work areas. Work areas should always be centered off the center of the item and not offset. So these things are now going to be wrong. Do this work area here on the first roller, essentially, which is the forward direction, this one. So 2.0, the width should be here. This should be 2.0. This is going to be, I don't know, roughly 2.9. Sure. And the height, again, we don't need a forward, any other direction other than a physical thing. It should be directly behind the start area. So we're going to just do this, copy, paste. So now we have three work areas, one for each wing and one for the center area. I'm hoping that by doing the work areas like that, it's actually going to miss less, because the work area is going to be based off of like how the wings move. And so it should miss less, because instead of it's all being based off of the center, it's going to be based off of each wing. Okay. Now, how do we do that? So that's great and all. How do I do that in XML? It's pretty easy. What we need to do is we need to create these work areas. So this copy, and we need 3 of them. Cultivator, center, left, right? Should be 3, 6. Let's check the model to make sure the pathing is the size of these things is correct. 3, 6. Perfect. So now we have work areas for each of the wings. And hopefully this will make it miss a little bit less. And how do we set that up? So each wing needs its own work area. Right? And then we're going to just do this. Left. Right. Now we have 3 work areas instead of 1. So that just helps us be a cultivator better. But hopefully, I don't know if this will actually reload, a hot reload, but we'll try. And now the reason we did this. No, it's not working out. So no, we have to reload. So let's save and completely reload. Because we've changed both the model and the XML structure, we're going to have to reload completely. Both width and height have the same position for work area 1. Index not found. Okay. While that's happening, while the game's loading, I'm going to go do something else. I'm going to grab something from this. So we're going to create a custom vehicle type here. We're going to call it a So we're making a custom type for the Pulvium mulcher. Parent is cultivator. We're going to add in mulcher, right? And then we'll add it in here. It's not going to show up in the game right away because we haven't actually set it because the game is in the middle of loading. We don't have time to do the rest, but that's okay. It's lowered already and it's not working. And I'm sure the log is going to tell me why it's not working. What did I do wrong? I totally made stuff up. Like, here it is. Width and height have the same position for work area 0 and 1. Okay. So I know that the names are not the same. Start with height. Start with height. Which can only mean that the nodes are the same somehow. Yeah, so see, I did the numbering wrong. I didn't copy paste pretty well enough. 0, 2, save. I did my copying and pasting a little bit badly. No big deal. I wish I could actually target this, and I don't know why that's not happening. We could figure that out later. There we go. So it lifts up, lowers down. Still not working. Oh, oops. It's already got my little change that I did that I shouldn't have done. Let's go back. Save. It's like, no, I don't know what to do now. I think now it's detecting the ground state change. Yeah, so now it looks like the center and the right is working, but the left is having issues. But also, the one thing I wanted to note is if you look at how it's breaking the ground, it's the rollers are more effective this way. It looks like the width is a little bit off. The width is too wide. So this is too wide for the center. Where is it? The width index is too wide. We should be here. This is too wide also. So I'm just do it on the frame itself. I'm gonna match it to the frame. And then this one I'll also match to the frame like that. And then the wings have to have an overlap. So we have to make sure the wings have an overlap. So start is there. Width is here. We're gonna make sure it overlaps. To go all the way to the edge. Width. Make sure it overlaps. Probably why the left one's not working. I did the left one wrong. Start. Width. There's an overlap, and height should be the same as the start. Save. And then reload. And I think that's actually going to be almost it for today. I'm going to have to go soon. But there we go. The left is still not working. Why is the left not working? Left area start, left area width. I don't know why the left one's not working. That's kind of weird. It's almost like it's not touching the ground. The left one doesn't detect that it's touching the ground. The right one's touching the ground. It knows that it's touching the ground. The left one is not touching the ground, and it doesn't think it's touching the ground. And I think that has to do with this. So see this thing's called fake wheel. So the fake wheel is how it detects ground contact. And there should be two fake wheels, the left fake wheel and the right fake wheel. And these fake wheels, their position is very important. And I think these fake wheels, so this is 2, 4. If we look for this node in the node tree, right? We have wheel has tire tracks false, 2, 4, 2, 5. These are all the fake wheels. And those fake wheels are what helps it like flex on the ground and stuff like that. And so those need to be, the radius is 0.3. So if, how do you calculate this in your mind? If this piece right here, like the roller itself, right? I don't know how big these rollers are. How big is the roller? Like I'd have to measure how big the roller is and see if the 0.3 is the right amount. But the centering of these fake wheels, like the positioning of them, looks to me to be a little bit high. And so I'm assuming that lowering these will help. Yeah, these are both 732. I don't know. I really don't know. This is new to me. But again, what the next step would really be tweaking. And anytime you're editing someone else's mod, the tweaking takes a lot longer because you don't know how they built it. Did you see that? Now the left wheels, if you look at the left wheels, they're rolling, but they're sticking up in the air, right? And so they probably shouldn't be sticking up in the air, but that's because the fake wheel, quote unquote, fake wheel, it's basically what the game is doing is it's creating a fake wheel at this position in the frame, right? In the middle of the roller. And that fake wheel has a radius of 0.3 and a width of 2.5, right? And so when I moved it, $732, I'm going to put them back to where they were. I basically moved it down to try to get those wheels to connect. And they're not working right. So they're not, it's not touching the ground properly. And so we just do need a lot of tweaking to get this to work. And I don't really have time for that right now, but we can put it back to the way it was. But if you look down, these fake wheels are not actually where I want them. I want them lower. Actually, no, is this up or down? See, if we look at how it is set to the, look at how it's set to the ground, right? The rollers are actually not on the ground. They're above the ground. They're floating, even though this is lowered. So maybe we need to make these higher. So 7.2, 7.1. I don't know. I mean, again, it's just like it's gonna be a lot of like tweaking to get this to work and try to get it to be the way we want it to, which can take hours. So we've tweaked it, we've moved those wheels up, but if we look down, it's still pretty high up. It's not actually. Let's move over to the point, the part where there's not like ground contact. It looks a little bit better, but it's still floating. You see them? If we look on a very smooth ground, all of the wheels are floating. Like the cultivator's floating. It should be sunk down more. And so maybe the radius of those wheels is wrong. Maybe the positioning is wrong. Again, lots of tweaking left to get it to work right. But we have the basics of it done. And I'll leave this back over to Deep Sky, and he can, I'll send this over. I'll put this in the chat if anyone else wants to continue messing with it, try to get it to work better. There's a little bit of this, like, if you look, when the tractor moves and accelerates, instead of all the wheels staying on the ground, there should be some flex between the connecting arm and the rest of the thing, so that it just sits on the ground. But right now, the connecting arm to the tractor is holding it up in the air, and so there needs to be more flex on that piece than there is. And so that would be a configuration thing. You'd want these rollers to actually sit touching the ground. Right now they're floating in the air. So I don't know what that is. Maybe that's just checking the positioning of these fake wheels and then making sure that the width and the radius and stuff like that is correct, to make sure that they are moving. The fact that these wheels, the fake wheels, have suspension travel is a little bit weird to me. Why would you want a fake wheel to have suspension travel? There's no suspension. These are hard. They shouldn't flex with the ground. That's a little weird. So I'd go and, I mean, you know, to figure out what to do for these wheels and what the settings to do, then my next step would be come over here to my data directory, go into the Dalbo power roll, right? And so here's all the Dalbo stuff. These are all the fake wheels on the Dalbo, right? These ones have suspension travel and friction and all of that stuff. So set it up just like this one, right? These are listed as real wheels. Has tire tracks false, has particles equals true. Where this one doesn't have has particles, but the physics is different. So the physics between these and these, oops, is different. Like, why is why is it set up different? And can we use some of the values from a roller we know works good to get those rollers to work good? And then the next step after that would be to, as we started talking about, turn this thing into an actual mulcher and roller. And my ideal thing, in the ideal setting for this machine, is I think it should do this. I'm going to do them in order. Oops. I would do a mulcher, right? I would do a mulcher for the first set of wheels, cultivator for the middle section, and this would be a, you'd have to set up two cultivator configurations, one for a shallow and one for a tall, and then it would use a different configuration for each one. But these would use a deep cultivator, and these would use a shallow cultivator. And what you'd end up with is mulch, cultivate, and then smoothing it into a seed bed. That's how I would set this up, ideally. But that's a lot of work to get all that set up, and that's a lot of work modes and areas to move around and tweak and get to be set up properly. But if I was going to be building this and actually wanted to use it, that's what I would do. But we're not going to do that, so we're just going to remove this. That's what I would do. And then you also have to set up the configurations for the cultivators, and like the cultivator configuration should be right Like the seating doesn't even have a cultivator configuration. Oh, here it is. So you'd need more than one cultivator configuration, and you'd need a mulcher configuration. So you'd have to figure that out and then set them up. Cool, right? But we were mostly successful. I think that with the fake wheels and the work areas and stuff like that, I think the yeah, that left is still not working. And I think some of it is set up with how flexible those sides are. I don't think the sides are flexible enough. And they're, in some ways, when they flex, they're pushing the center one up. And instead of the center one being like the core and the sides just flapping like wings, which is the way it should work. So there's some configuration in the moving parts to get that to work right. But overall, it actually sort of works. It's a cool looking cultivator. And it could potentially have mulchers, and then I actually even go further and change those rollers in the front to be mulching rollers to be more accurate with the original race. But overall, that's going to be it for me today. I'm going to say thanks for everyone for being here. Thanks for watching. It's kind of cool and weird and different. We made a super fast track that isn't as fast as we want it to be, but I think there's a little bit more tweaking that could happen with the actual max speed. When you get into changing speed and how fast something can go, there are some things that affect the speed that we may not have changed properly. I may have missed something. Maybe we need to set the max forward speed up here to be, where is it? Store data? There should be a speed limit here somewhere. Anyways, we could get this to go faster if we wanted to. I actually have a fast track somewhere that does 240 miles an hour. But yeah, you're right, Deep Sky. The whole thing just looks like it's floating. It looks, these things should all be touching the ground. And the fact that they're not is kind of weird to me. And I don't know how to get them to actually touch the ground better. They all seem lined up. I think the radius is wrong, honestly. I think this radius of 0.3 should be like 0.25, which should move them all down. I don't really know. I mean, we could try it real quick. And it's, of course, anytime you're changing stuff with physics, you run the risk of it just going to the stars. So anytime you mess with the physics or positioning of things in relation to the physics, like even that, if you look, now it's touching the ground. Now it's actually on the ground. It actually looks like it's embedded in the ground. So that change of changing the radius to 2.5, that left side is still not working. I think I have the start in the wrong direction. I think the start needs to be on the left and the width needs to be on the right, or the other way around. Where is it? The start for the left. Why are these floating? Oh, I have to move these down. That's why the work areas are not working. The work area needs to be on the ground. I'm surprised the left one's working. There we go. That's what I was missing. Do something simple. Come on, work. Prove me right. Nope. Still didn't get it. Oh well. It's a good project. I'll send you what I've got so far if you want to tweak with it. And I'll send you the video that I actually it's working sometimes. Like the left one works every once in a while. I'll send you the video I used to get the flex wing to flex, and you can use that. But I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. Thank you for watching. I gotta go to work. Have a good one. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye now.